all right. We getting this thing going today. I'm looking at it and it's telling me you are now live. Welcome to another GridIron Games. I am your host, Tony the Tycoon. This is a show from an athlete's perspective to the athletes, giving you guys everything you need to succeed. So excited to be here, man. You are now listening to the smooth sounds of my man E40. The song is called Choices, and there's a reason why I played this. So we're going to let this vibe for a little bit. Hold on. Yeah. Everybody got choices. Everybody got choices. Listen, I am so excited to be here with you guys today. You guys could be anywhere in the world and you are with me. And I know as more people will be able to jump on here, whether it's live or from the playback, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. Today, I have an important topic to talk to you guys about. Split-second decisions. How one choice can change everything. And the reason why that's important is because we've been seeing a lot of different things in the media. We've been seeing the Shedeur Sanders situation, and people have opinions about that. Should he have made a different choice? We've been seeing the Lacey situation and, you know, rest in peace to his family and everything that they're going through with the loss of that young brother, right? But could there have been a different choice that he could have made? And the answer is absolutely, right? There's choices in our lives that we've made that we were like, I wish we could have that back. So with that being said, I just want to let you guys know that I'm glad you could join me today. This topic is very powerful, right? Because one split second decision can change, man, it can change your life, right? And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how important decision making is, right? And I know it sounds big, but it's true. Every day we make hundreds, and I mean hundreds of decisions, right? And sometimes in those decision-making opportunities, they happen in the blink of an eye. It could be one small choice. One small choice can send us down a completely different path. So I want us to think about what that looks like. And I want us to really give some thought into the importance of decision-making. It's a big thing. And I think that this is something that a lot of people don't discuss. We say it, right? Just like we say, hey, we need to have financial literacy, or, you know, hey, make sure that you're doing the things you need to do to find success, or hey, keep working hard. Like, right, we say these, we have these soliloquies and these different proverbial things that we say, but do we really dive into that, right? And I'm not so sure that this topic is one that we dive in. So if you're looking at it from an athlete's perspective, I want you to imagine this. Imagine you're in the middle of the game, right? And that the clock is winding down. The ball comes right into your hands, and with just 2 seconds left, you probably got a million thoughts racing through your mind, right? Do I shoot? Do I pass? You know, win or lose is going to come down to that split-second decision. What do you do in that instant? Think about that. That moment, that feeling of pressure, that rush, right? What does that feel like? It's an amazing feeling, right? I mean, it shows us so many different things. It shows us how much power we have in that single moment. And it shows us the responsibility and the weight that we have in that single moment. I don't even know if words can articulate what that feels like. But what I can tell you is, in that moment, making the decisions predicated off of the things that we've put in place, the practice, right? That's going to be the thing that allows us to either take that shot or to pass that moment up, right? And one of the things is that I know many of you watching are going to be young athletes. Some of you guys are going to be high school guys. Some of you guys and girls are going to be collegiate, right? Might even get some professionals. But at the end of the day, no matter what level, I know you live for those moments on the field. I know you live for those moments on the court. Met a hockey player. Shout out to Kirsten Toth. I know she lived for that moment on the ice. But guess what? Those split-second moments, they don't only happen in sports, ladies and gentlemen. They happen in life too. Off the field, off the court, in everyday choices. Something as simple like, who do you hang out with? How do you spend your free time? What are you saying to yourself and saying to others? What are you listening to? That one quick second on social media where you make that decision to reach out to that particular individual and say something that might not be popular, right? Whatever that thing is, that one decision in an instant can change absolutely everything. I was looking at a tweet that Antonio Brown tweeted out to Deion Sanders, right? Which was basically an insult. And I thought to myself, man, as great as a player that this guy has been, he's continuing to diminish his legacy. And not with things that he's doing, you know, not with the things that he did on the field, but the things that he did off the field. So I want to dive into this. I want to share some ideas, some from sports, some from personal, events that I've had in my life, and even a bit from the Bible, because I want to show you how powerful that one choice can be. How powerful that one choice can be. I'll even slow down to take some key points, and I might even ask some questions for the people that's on here. And if you can't answer them now because, a lot of people are getting on later, then you can answer them later, right? But at the end of the day, my hope is that you feel fired up to make the decisions that's going to move you in the trajectory of life that is elevating, and not one that devalues who you are as a person and devalues the things that you're trying to build. Because your life, your vision, your dream, that matters. And as an athlete, when the game is on the line and it's time to make that decision, you want to make sure that it's a decision that you can live with, because you've done everything that you need to do in order for that outcome to be whatever that outcome is going to be. And hopefully you've been doing the right thing so that it makes it a positive decision. So I want you to think about this, right? I remember this moment. Think about if you've ever played in a championship game and let's say your team is down. Let's attribute it to basketball. Say your team's down by 1. There's like 5 seconds on the clock, right? And you catch the rebound. At that particular moment in time, you've got to act. And you've got to act right now. But there's a question that lays in the back of your mind, in the back of that subconscious that comes up to the conscious. Man, what do I do? What do I do right now? And maybe you felt that way. Maybe you've experienced that exact moment. Maybe you've experienced that exact moment. Maybe you've experienced that pressure, right? The crowd's roaring. People are looking at you. You're trying to figure out, man, how do I make this so that I don't let my team down? You're thinking about everything that the coach has told you. You're thinking about all of the things that you were drilled into practice. It's a multitude of thoughts. And let's say you see your teammate wide open, right? Say he's on the wing, but you also see a defender closing in on you. You have to decide to pass or shoot. And in one heartbeat, you make a choice. And that choice is the thing that you got to let ride. However it turns out, that's the decision that you made. And you got to be okay with that. We've seen the commercial of Michael Jordan and the missed shots. We've seen Kobe miss shots. We've seen LeBron miss shots. We've seen it. We've seen passes intercepted. But it's moments like that. Athletes often say that it feels like you're almost moving in slow motion. But I'm going to tell you now, this is when your training kicks in. When you practice day in and day out, you've built your muscle memory up, you've built up those instincts, and in that split second, you know what you're going to trust? You're not going to trust the thousands of thoughts that's going through your mind. You're not going to trust the media hype. The thing that you're going to trust is you're going to trust your training. Maybe you pump fake. Maybe you let it fly. That one decision either wins or loses the game. And trust me, when that shot goes in or bounces out, you know in your gut that the choice you made, that was the one that you needed to make. And you let the results be what the results are going to be. I heard Ray Lewis talk about one time. He said it's not about the wins or the losses. He said wins and losses come a dime a dozen. It's about that you give everything that you had. It's about that you embrace that moment. Some of the greats have dropped passes. Some of the greats have thrown interceptions. Some of the greats have missed blocks, right? This happens in life. It's a part of the game. It's a part of the maturation process. And it's not just in basketball. I know I used the basketball analogy, but think about a quarterback that has a blitz coming down and he decides to scramble. Or does he read the defense and change the play at the line? All of these are examples of choices that have to be made in the sport. But it just doesn't happen on the field. It happens off the field as well. There are so many times in life, in my life, I speak to myself, that I've made decisions and thought to myself, was that the best one? Could I have made a different decision? Could I have made a different choice? And the reality is that in that particular moment, that was the decision that needed to be made. And I was willing to live with that decision no matter what. So my question to you is, in your life, high pressure moments, do you trust that you've done the things that you needed to do intrinsically so that in high pressure moments, the decision you make, you can say, you know what? I'm okay with this. Win, lose, or draw, however it shakes, I'm okay with this. I need us to start thinking about the importance of thinking. I've said this before. Thinking is one of the most important things that we hardly ever do. But the scripture tells us that as a man thinketh, so is he. The scripture tells us that where a man's thought is, so is his treasure. Are we taking the time to think before we act? We live in a reactionary world. We're hearing all this different information. We should be doing this, right? Women understand me. My female athletes, y'all gonna get it. Like, oh, you should be this way, or you should talk this way, or you should move like this, or you should think like that. And it's like, man, when do I get to be authentically me? I've done things in my life. I've had experiences that I can use to help other people. I want to leverage those experiences to be able to serve the people in my life that God has called me to serve. I don't want to be like others. And guess what? You're not supposed to. God has uniquely designed you to be you. And he has given people for you to serve. And I need us to understand that we have to identify our purpose, define it after we discover it, detail it, and then distribute it to the market because they're looking for you. You don't have to be like everybody else. And truth be told, you can't. Because the reality is that everybody else is taken. As an athlete, you've been in high pressure moments before and you've made decisions and those decisions have worked out. You have to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Even in those moments that seem like perceived failures, they're not failures, they're learning experiences. Your past is your professor. It's not your prison. Learn from that. Learn from your past. Move towards your future, but live in your present. Live in your present. Trust your training. Trust the fact that you have been putting in the work. Trust the fact that you don't have to worry about what others are going to think about the decisions that you make. Because you've already thought about those things. And then understand you can only get the result. This life is about feedback. You can only get the result when you go out and do the thing. You're on a journey, ladies and gentlemen. You're on a journey. And at this journey, there's no destination. I heard Myron Golden say this, and so I'm going to adopt it because I truly believe it. But there is no there. The there is the journey. And as long as you understand that and you trust that and you believe in that, you'll start to trust yourself more. You'll start to see the way you see things and your perspective shift. That paradigm will shift for you. Look, I know some of us have been in dark moments. But the power of choice remains the same. Even in those dark moments, the power of choice, the power of decision remains the same. And what do I mean by the power of that? Here's the power. You have to make it. You have to make the decision. If you're somebody that says, I want to be an entrepreneur, make the decision. Don't put assign a level of difficulty on that. Just do the work because the time's going to pass anyway. I want you to think about those moments in the game when you knew you did the work. And there was pressure, but that pressure wasn't pressure. It didn't feel like pressure. It felt like energy. You used what others perceived to be pressure, and you used that as energy because you were prepared. Preparation removes anxiety, guys. Stop putting a level of difficulty on things. Make the right decisions. Some of you might say, Tycoon, but I don't know what the right decision is. The decision you're going to make is the right decision. Why? Because it was already written. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. It was already written. God knew you were going to move this way. Continue to work on your internal. Because you cannot produce extrinsically that you are not intrinsically. You can only produce extrinsically that you are intrinsically. And understand that these are transferable skills. So this is going to be a short one today. But I want to leave you with something. Beyond the arena, right? Beyond the field, there's the real world. And the real world requires that you make decisions. The real world requires that you make choices. The stadiums are going to fade away. And this is real life. And when the scoreboard is gone and those stakes in that playing field are no longer there, the stakes in your real life are. And if you understand that you can have the life that you envision to have, but you're going to have to do it by making the right decisions. then you will start to understand how important words are, how important your friend group and your friend circle is, how intimate you need to be spending your time with the Most High, how you need to be diving into your own spirituality, and how you need to not be a parakeet from what others are saying and make your own decisions and your own choices, because those are authentically you, and people are craving authenticity. They're craving who you are, young lady. They're craving who you are, young man. We don't need another Curry. We don't need another LeBron. We don't need another Anthony Edwards. We need a you. Whoever you are, we need you to be the best you that you can be, because when you are the best you that you can be, you inspire others to be the best them that they can be. Understand the power of decision. I hope you guys got something from this. I love y'all with the peace of God. Run well, young lions. It's your man, Tony the Tycoon. I'm out.